We also have to open up with talking about some breaking news. Basically, folks, the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Non-binary, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Basically, the Supreme Court of the United States of America has ruled that it is not going to expedite the Trump immunity dispute. So basically what that means is that Jack Smith, the special prosecutor who's been going after Trump on a number of different fronts, tried to expedite whether or not Trump has full immunity from his time in office. And he tried to expedite that to the Supreme Court in order to achieve a faster trial deadline, essentially. And the Supreme Court today, just a handful of minutes ago, handed down a ruling, essentially, well, I guess not a ruling per se. It issued a one-line unsigned order denying the request from special counsel Jack Smith. That said, and I quote, "The petition for a writ of certiorari before judgment is denied, and there were no noted dissents." So it's unsigned, probably because the Supreme Court knows that it's a really big deal. This isn't surprising that the Supreme Court is dragging its feet and trying to drag at the conservative Supreme Court is dragging its feet. It is disappointing because we were trying to look at a court date for March 4th in the trial in Washington, D.C., which is for the January 6th insurrection. And now this is a distinct case from the Mar-a-Lago documents case, which is being tried in Florida. And essentially, the Trump camp's argument has been that because he was a president at the time, he has immunity from being prosecuted altogether. And why this denial from the Supreme Court is a big kind of a big deal is essentially, as I understand it, that essentially they're kicking it back down to the appeals process. So special counsel Jack Smith was trying to send this up the chain to skip the appeal trial because that would take far more time. And the Supreme Court is like, nah, you got to go through the appeals process. And then whoever loses that can appeal the appeal and kick it back up to us. So it's basically a gigantic waste of time because either way it goes in appeals, it's still going to go to the Supreme Court. So that's kind of what we're witnessing is just the Supreme Court kicking the can down the road to delay the trial, and it could be a delay of several months, which could be like right on the eve of the election. The trial could be taking place, which is not good. That's just not good for anybody, and it's going to be a gigantic clusterfluff and very disappointing ruling by the Supreme Court, but very much not surprising. So, yeah, that's essentially what is going down with Donald Trump's court case for January 6th.